Hi, this is Fairgrounds and CoolKay from the Denver area, and we're going to interview today the Chicago Thanksgiving Day Parade. And hello, I have Mr. Daniel-mulka on the line with me, and
ovidiu-grigorescu.
Oh, okay. All right, so the Chicago Thanksgiving Day Parade is coming up, and it's on what day and where does it start?
It'll be on Thanksgiving, actually, November 24th. It's going to start at 8 a.m. Central Time. So depending on where you're listening from, you'll have to make the adjustments for that. It's going to be on WCIU here in Chicagoland, but we'll also be streaming online on YouTube and Facebook as well.
Okay, that sounds good. And how long does it last?
The parade will last about 3 hours, and
Wow.
The first hour features our staged performances, including the American Blues Theater, the Crystal Lake Strikers, which are an awesome drumline who come dressed up in bright blue bowling shirts and Santa hats, and Renacer Boliviano, which is a group that has not missed a parade ever since 2008, I believe, but Dan could maybe double-check that.
Obi's correct. That was actually my first year with the parade, so I do remember that.
What is the route? Where does it start and where does it end?
So the parade itself starts on Ida B. Wells. That's Congress Avenue. It recently had a name change, and it works its way north up to Randolph. So basically, if you're familiar with the Chicago area, Randolph is the north side of the Macy's building.
Okay, all right. And so it runs for 3 hours. Boy, that's an awful lot of people. Where do you people put all these people?
It is surprising how many people can fit in that area, let alone the South Side, the South Loop area becomes a great celebration of everything, which is always good to see. I mean, smiles everywhere, everybody celebrating the holidays, all the diverse acts that we have. Seeing the balloons and other things, it's a great time. And then, when you have that many people smiling in a row, I mean, it's surprising how much this large crowd just becomes one big community.
Okay, well, I know that parking in downtown Chicago can be an issue. So if people want to come downtown to see this, how do you suggest they get there?
Well, I would suggest definitely make sure you work your way. You probably want to be in the area, I would say 7 a.m. That's kind of when some of the streets start to close. For those familiar with the area was actually starting from Roosevelt going all the way up to Wacker on State Street does close. And then if you were to draw like a rectangle, the west side being Dearborn, the east side being Wabash, there's certain times where things do close. For example, we set up the parade in between Ida B. Wells and Roosevelt, so that area actually closes at about 5 a.m. But as the day gets later, near Macy's, that area also closes about 5 a.m. That actually is kind of our TV zone, so that way we're setting up, doing a lot of things. The actual block in front of Macy's does close. So I'd suggest as long as, if you Google any parking garages or if you're looking at apps like HubSpot, things of that nature, say as long as you're not getting onto one directly on State Street, you should be fine.
Okay, and what about the L? Can they take the L?
Yep, the L will be going through. There will be 2 of the stations will be closed right in front of Macy's. I should say one station, going north, one station going south. Excuse me. But the L is definitely some way you can get off, with the red line or, one of the other lines and walk just a little bit. You should be fine. But that will be operating during the parade.
Okay. All right. So this parade has been running for a long number of years. Do you know when it started?
1934.
Wow.
This goes back, and it's kind of reminiscent of even current times. The business owners in the area started this parade. It was called the Christmas Caravan, and it's bounced on different days. It hasn't always been on Thanksgiving. But the Christmas Caravan, featured Santa Claus at the end, and the whole goal was to bring people down to the area to visit the stores and kind of give them that, that reason, that impetus to come down and, take in the area, do their shopping, and have a great time as well.
One of the things about these kinds of parades that always interest me are the inflatable kinds of things and the big balloon kinds of things. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, we are going to be having six balloons this year. I will tease that, we do always love it's weird to say that these are more vintage cartoons, but, going back, your Fred Flintstones and your Yogi Bears, those are the two that I'll kind of reveal here on this recording. Going back to when I grew up, let alone, some of the other folks that work on this parade, that takes us back to our childhood. And it's, I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old myself, so it's always great to kind of, let them see these characters I grew up with. So, we always love that. But we will have 6 balloons in the parade this year. So
are your kids coming to the parade?
Yes, they are. Is it that's the nice thing is when this parade starts, I get about 3 hours of breathing time, letting everything go through. Ovi will be clicking away himself on our social media channels, making sure that we're getting our story out. But I actually get a little bit of a break during the parade, so it works out really well.
Okay, so you were talking about the entertainment that goes, and what about marching bands?
And Ovi, I'll let you kind of start out with some of those.
Sure, yeah. So we have about 16 marching bands in total. We have a few new ones. We have a few returning ones. Some of the notable returning ones are the Marist High School and Bishop Noel Institute marching bands. We are always very excited to see all the young talent that is being put on display for the nation to see. And, it really shows what America has to give as far as talent goes for the up-and-coming generation.
One of those bands making their premiere is actually the University of Dayton Marching Band. So we also have, we actually do bring in bands from all around the country. They get to come and have a little mini vacation here in Chicago during the Thanksgiving week and enjoy. And I believe, I was looking at my list here, Heights High School out of Houston, Texas, may be the furthest traveling band.
Wow. So what's the temperature like in Chicago downtown these days?
If you would have said maybe 2 weeks ago, we had some nice temperature. This past week it has been a little chilly. We know as we're recording this date, we're kind of seeing some fluctuation in the forecast. We're seeing anything from precipitation to 50 degrees. It seems like the meteorologists haven't figured out exactly, if we're going to have any sort of weather or not. So, being just under a week out, they still have time to kind of figure out if it's going to, hit that 50 degrees or if we're going to have snow. I've seen it all. So it's, we're hoping for more of that warmer weather personally.
Yeah, it must be awfully hard if you get a big snowstorm to have this parade, I would think.
And we've had times where we've had to keep, our marching band students in the buses with the heaters going on and pull them out at the last possible second because, no matter the weather, the show does go on.
Okay, what about floats? What kind of floats have we got?
Well, this year we have... Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Ovi.
Okay. This year we have about 9 floats. Again, a lot of returning, a lot of new ones. One of the floats that we're really excited about this year is going to be the NASCAR float. They are a sponsor of the parade this year, and they are here to let Chicagoans know that about the big event happening in July, which is the NASCAR Street Racing Weekend event. We also have the Canadian Pacific float, as well as a number of different groups from around Chicago, including the Casa de la Cultura Guatemalteca in Chicago. My apologies for that.
It's okay.
The Chicago Chinese Institute and Arts Society, the Punjabi Cultural Society of Chicago, and Santa's Village as well. They will be coming up. Well, obviously, Santa Claus himself will be coming up on as one of the main guests as well. And quite a few others. So, we don't want to spoil all the surprises here.
And one thing that we're definitely proud of, Chicago is such a diverse community, and it's our goal to represent that, whether it's through floats, through some of our performing artists that Ovi will talk a little bit more about here shortly. We want to showcase everything about Chicago, and that's one of the things that I think makes our parade very unique, and where a lot of people can get behind. It's a great showcase of this melting pot that we call Chicago.
Okay, all right. So yeah, do you want to talk some more about that, Ovi?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said before, we have the Crystal Lake Strikers, we have the Renacer Boliviano. We also have, as a new addition this year, the Music Theater Works. Actually, sorry, Dan, you might have to check me on that. But yes, so we do have the Music Theater Works. We have the American Blues Theater, the Cirque Experience, which is a group that is coming back. They're always fantastic to watch, and it's just incredible to see all the stunts they can perform just live and even while they're on the move sometimes. It makes quite the show, whether you look at it in person or whether you see it from the comfort of your home. It really, that first hour of the parade is just incredible.
And this is something that we do take pride in featuring this first hour. If you can imagine, for those people sitting in our VIP area and those kind of near where Macy's sits, this is where all this happens. That first hour is performances. They're set up for TV, but it's a great way to see a lot of the different talent. Ballet Folkloricos, Sonos Mexicanos. We have Donnie Lee Strickland, who's a country artist. There's several, and I don't want to read the whole list and spoil the surprises, but it makes you want to tune in and just kind of see all the different types of entertainment. I mean, and later in the parade too. I mean, one of our sponsors is Ozinga, kind of construction concrete company, and they're a big supporter of the community as well as us. We have their big giant cement mixer truck dressed up as a turkey, making it the biggest turkey that you'll ever see, let alone weighing several tons. Our goal is to showcase things that you might expect from a parade, and then things you won't expect from a parade.
Are the streets pretty much packed for the parade? I mean, it's awfully early in the morning, and you've been running it for years. So what's been your experience with the crowds on the streets?
I would say it's funny because it's very weather dependent. If it's a nice day outside, we'll see people 4 a.m., 5 a.m. starting to line up. If it's cold and wintry, our TV numbers do fantastic. So we have a group of loyal fans, and kind of no matter if they get down on State Street, I mean, if the weather's tough, obviously we don't see as many folks, but we do have some diehards as well. We always get a great crowd, supportive, cheering every group. I mean, and the funny thing is the biggest crowd cheers we get are from the volunteers that clean up after the equestrian groups. I kid you not. We lovingly call them the poo crew. But everybody's just so kind because there's so many volunteers that give their times to make this happen. I mean, we wouldn't be able to do the parade without the 800 to 1,000 people that we end up seeing each morning just to help the parade.
Wow. Wow. And then I have to ask this question. This is an important question. What happens to Santa? He comes through on a float. Where does he go?
Well, he actually magically works his way back to the North Pole via a quick stop at the Chicago Theater. But no, he does get to go off and then make sure, obviously warm back up, see Mrs. Claus, and get all his reindeer ready to make that trek back up north.
Okay, all right.
4-year-old, so I know that story way too well.
Okay, do you have any closing comments that you want to say to people?
Ovi, I'll let you start, or otherwise I can follow up.
Sure. This year we are really putting together a very big parade. We are hoping to make it one of the best yet, and We are hoping to see everyone there either in person or via their small screens at home. And we truly hope to make this annual tradition. We're hoping to make it become better and more fun to watch and partake in every single year.
We all know that there's a big parade that happens in New York that gets lots of eyeballs. And our goal, too, is we want to make the most kind of authentic show that everybody can get behind, feel part of, recognize somebody that they're like, oh, I could be that person walking down the street, whether, doing the tumbling acts or, we have, I'm not going to give away that secret, but, all of a sudden I was about to say something, I'm like, no, we're going to keep that one. But, we have groups from Alabama, Georgia, California. We try to bring we have a couple people from Canada. We do our best to put on a show that everybody can get behind and, feel as authentic as we can make it.
Okay, what channels TV-wise?
WCIU, if you're in the Chicagoland area. Then otherwise, we are live streaming. It's going to be both on our YouTube and Facebook channel. If you go to ChicagoThanksgivingParade.com, we'll have all that listed as well as links to any of the live streaming. So that way, our goal is to make it easy for you, and that way too, if you have a TV that can show, that can have YouTube, one of the smart TVs, you can always look up Chicago Thanksgiving Parade under Google search as well. So we try to make it as available for as many people as we can.
Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. And have a great parade.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We're looking forward to it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Everybody have a great Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye-bye.